Week 10 in the Always Sunday Football League was exciting. It was high scoring, and the action went right down to Monday night. Several big wins, some disappointing losses, and the Brown Helmet Bowl ending the only way it could have. In this episode, we break down a great weekend of action. We try to make sense of the clogged standings and officially start burying dead teams. And we look ahead to some intriguing key matchups. But first, let's welcome our panel. Anthony, live with me here in the Clouded Mind Studios. How's it going, buddy?
It's great. It's great. You know, we're having a blast here.
Always do. We always do. Danny, how you doing down there at the TGS facility?
Doing well.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. And Jonny, welcome back. Jonny, our wandering son. How you doing?
Chilling.
Awesome. Really happy to have you back on the show. We miss you. We miss you when you're not here. This week, in a tale as old as time, the third highest scoring team in the league was unlucky enough to face off against the second highest scoring team. This time, it was our closest game of the week, finishing with a margin of only 4.66 points. But when the dust settled between Team Blumpkin and Stillwater on Monday Night Football, with a score of 170.72 to 166.06, the winner was not who many expected. Coming into the game, Stillwater was 8-1 and boasted the most points in the league. Blumpkin was 4-5 and the third lowest scoring team. However, Blumpkin had shown some big game potential and would need one this week. Both teams performed very well in this matchup that turned out to be the game of the week, finishing as the aforementioned 2-3 in scoring on the slate. But it all did come down to Monday Night Football as Blumpkin and the Bills wide receiver Khalil Shakir had a slim 7-ish point lead over Stillwater, who still had Bills star wide receiver Stephon Diggs left to play. Shakir did basically nothing for most of the game, but due to lockdown coverage by Patrick Surtain Jr., so did Diggs. Josh Allen had a bad game, as did the entire Bills offense. Late in the game, Shakir caught one 24-yard pass to secure the lead for Blumpkin, and Diggs finished with just 6.4 points. That's a good cornerback, ladies and gentlemen. With an unlikely win over a powerhouse opponent in a must-need spot, still very much alive at 5-5, Team Blumpkin is this week's hero. Congratulations to Team Blumpkin. And before we move on, let's just say hello to our man, Bobby J. What's up, Bobby J? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for watching. We love you.
Hi, buddy.
Bobby.
With the lowest score in the league this week, again, the Chump is 1 week closer to the worst record in league history. 1 week closer to the first pick in next year's draft. 1 week closer to having the Weekly GOAT Award renamed the Weekly Luis. Yo, who was this week's Luis? Guy started a waiver dart throw who got me 1 point. I'm totally going to be the Luis this week. They were in a must-need spot, and they put up a total Luis performance. It kind of works. It's hard to remember a team struggle this mightily in our league. There's not much the Chump has done right this year, and now they're on pace to become possibly the first team in league's history to finish the regular season with just one win, and we have an extra regular season game now. There's not much more that can be said about Luis that we haven't already said. It's become an infinite loop of Luis stepping on the rake. It swings up and it smacks him in the face. He falls down, he gets up, and he steps on the rake again. In the Brown Helmet Bowl, PBJ defeated the Chump 111.44 to 101.4, keeping the slimmest of playoff hopes alive, and I'm talking about slim. However, keeping in mind I am not a math magician, with 9 losses, I think it's safe to declare that the 2023 Chump is the first team officially eliminated from playoff contention. I think that's safe to say. And for that, Luis is this week's, and quite possibly, league history's GOAT. Whew. Rough.
Yeah.
It's hard out here.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen. Made some moves. Or a move. And maybe
He's got a whole new
world.
lease on life. Hey Johnny, speaking of a new lease on life, how you feeling there? You got to win. You could still potentially put together a run. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, man. I just want to finish the year strong as possible. I'm not mathematically out of it, but I think I have a good shot this coming week, which
Well,
we'll talk
listen,
about later.
that 1 week where you started the wrong quarterback and against Danny and got that loss.
Look, that's
That's
not what we're
hurting.
trying to be positive right
I'm
now.
saying,
we're looking
but that's
forward.
he would
You're
have
looking
been
back.
he would be on his way to
You're looking back.
a 4-week win
You're looking
streak
back. We have to look forward. Here.
I am. I'm
it's
saying.
a 1 week league, 1 week at a time. And this week,
Yeah.
The list is fluid.
Next
The list
week-
is fluid.
Yes, next week, right? There was a material change. Next week, Johnny just has to win that game. That's all we have to talk about right now. He can't go back and win games he already lost. So let's just talk about the games he can win. Good attitude, Johnny. I like it. Anthony, Sweep the Leg was victorious over the Drunken Bums, 141.96 to 109.5.
Yeah,
interesting game.
Yeah, I would say it's fairly interesting.
Go for it. Break it down. That's the one you were going to break down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I catch you with your pants down.
I wasn't on my situation.
All right.
Yeah.
We're doing the show now.
Well, easy. I got it. So yes, this this right here. Both of these guys are in the middle of their. Wait, I'm looking at next week. No, this week. You and Team Blumpkin.
Week 10.
No. Yeah, I'm in my next week. I apologize.
Yes. Week 10.
You versus the Drunken Bums.
Bums. Yes.
Bummin'. Both of you guys were the same record going into this week.
No, he was 5-4. I was 4-5.
Okay, sorry.
Now we're both 5-5.
Yeah. This game, Bums has been on a downhill little spiral situation here, not mustering up a lot of points, going up against Sweep the Leg, who had the Eagles on a bye, so no Jalen Hurts, no AJ Brown stack.
Dude, a win in week 10 when I had all these buys, I will take it.
Yeah, you had everybody, on a bye, and still did a couple moves on the wire. You started up Kyler Murray, puts up almost a 20. Horrible performance by Trevor Lawrence. They started off hot, and that was
Jaguars
bad.
are spiraling right now.
Spiraling is the word. And then you got the big, huge pickup, David Singletary.
Devin Singletary, yeah,
huge
playing
pickup.
him this week was clutch.
Yeah, his best.
I told Danny that 150 and 1 from Devin Singletary was not on my bingo card.
Yeah.
It's not.
No, and his best game of his career. So when you play him, so kudos to you there.
And a trade high candidate at that point.
Yes, yeah, and he's a good play this coming week. So Mike Evans, huge day out of Mike Evans, 6 for 143 and a tutty. He's doing what Mike Evans does.
Mike Evans doing Mike Evans things.
Check over here.
Bijan scored a touchdown. That's the headline, baby.
Yes, I'm sorry. Bijan.
He got work. He got 22 carries.
touchdowns.
He almost got 100 yards. He probably would have got it if he got one more goddamn carry, and he got a touchdown. Bijan is alive. He's showing signs of life.
Bijan, what really did the Bums dirty here, because his flex plays were okay. He had Javonte and Debo, but his 3 wide receivers, the Gabe Davis and Jerry Jeudy and
Pickens. Yeah, he got
Pickens.
He's got real wide receiver problems.
Right. So they mustered up 21 points. That's not what you want. His 3 wide receivers did not outscore Mike Evans. And
right. I mean,
that's not what you want.
Debo is in the flex, so Debo needs to be mentioned in his wide receiver core, but it's Debo and a whole bunch of nothing else.
Right.
Yeah. So there you go. Good win for Sweep the Leg. Definitely needed that one to get back to 5-5, especially with the big log jam in the standings. There's a lot of action going on. Johnny, welcome back once again. Did you know that the Golden Showers defeated the Gotham Rogues in a very high scoring game this week, 191.28 to 155.92?
Yes, and
it's like the game of the week runner up.
Yeah, this was an absolute showdown. First of all, the Golden Showers at the time was 5-4, going against a respectable Gotham Rogues at 7-2, and we had a quarterback battle. They were relatively even at quarterback, but the big difference was at running back and wide receiver. I mean, big day from Kenneth Walker and Rashid White. I don't even know that, like, Rashid White. I don't know how that guy is doing things. But I'm going to tell you one thing that I'm really shocked about is CeeDee Lamb is an absolute stud. 41.
He's been like the best player in fantasy over the last 3 weeks or something.
It's ridiculous. Good luck with Amari Cooper for the rest of the year. Deshaun Watson's out. But 15.8, respectable. For some reason, I was actually at the Jags and San Fran game. You don't know how many times Calvin Ridley was open, and for some reason, Christian Kirk gets the ball. So I don't know what's going on with that. Doug Peterson's half-ass backwards. But great job, Danny, with starting him, 16.4. And a great pickup from him. Jaden Reed, rookie out of Green Bay, with 19.4. And that is combined 93.1 points just off his wide receivers. Is that more than Luis scored this week?
Just under. Luis scored 101. So it was almost as much as Luis scored for this whole team. Yeah.
Jesus, Danny, your wide receivers almost scored as much as – oh, my God.
That's a next level burn by John. Good job, John. Came back firing. Next level shit, right, Danny? Right or wrong?
I love it.
Beautiful. Continue, John.
The Rogues, just pretty poor performances from Hollywood Brown. I think that's the thing that killed him. Not that great from Garrett Wilson when you got Zach Wilson throwing to you. But St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 32.5 points. We are not talking enough about the Detroit Lions this year. They're killing it this year. And got to give it for the Rogues of Kittle having 24.6 points against a Jacksonville defense that was on the field for like a million years. But great job on the road on the Golden Showers. Danny moving his record to 6-7 against a formidable opponent. And let's see if Danny Mac can take a grip of the division by the end of the season. That's what I'm interested in knowing.
Well, yeah, Danny Mac's been putting up some big scores, and we'll talk a little bit about the way the scores stack up, but he's certainly one of the highest scoring teams in the league. Danny, let's circle back to something that John said. How are you feeling about your Amari Cooper share right now?
Not loving it, but they still got to throw the ball, and he's still going to be the guy that gets all the targets. So,
Dorian,
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Actually, it's been over the last couple of weeks, it's been Elijah Moore getting the targets. So be aware of that.
To throw out the record books because Deshaun Watson's gone, baby. It's a new guy. It's Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the guy who played poorly.
For now, yeah.
He was even worse than PJ Walker was in the one start that he got. But he's a rookie who just really wasn't ready. Maybe he's improved by now. It's certainly possible, most likely. Otherwise, I doubt that they would start him if they knew he was going to be just as bad. Regardless, I think that the entire offense takes kind of a step down until we find out.
Oh, for sure.
Jerome Ford, Kareem Hunt.
You think they'll still be good?
Just they're going to funnel.
They're going to have to run the ball. Danny, talk about DTR a little bit. What do you know about him?
Well, he had a good DTF. He had a good out of UCLA. He was like a 4th or 5th round pick.
Right.
Kind of like they really saw him very good in college. Yeah, they saw him as very similar to Watson. He could step in and run the offense effectively if something happened to Watson. He had a really good preseason, hence the Dobbs trade, the first Dobbs trade.
Right. People forget that.
So we'll see a little bit more upside than Walker, they feel like, and pretty similar to Watson. He can run a little bit. But it's probably more of a passer, although probably runs a little bit more than Watson. But clearly, he's not Deshaun Watson. Not that Watson had been great this year, but it's still better than what they had. Although say he was really good for a quarter and a half in that Baltimore game, which is weird because he was so bad the first half.
It was Baltimore though, so. It's hard to judge a rookie quarterback against Baltimore.
No, I'm talking about Watson.
Oh, Watson. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean, Deshaun Watson's not like he's been great this year, but
no, he's been bad.
Yeah, so we'll see.
That's what she said. 140.48. Beer Muscles 106.04. This was a bad loss for Bobby J right here, dropping him to 4-6. Danny, tell us about it.
Yeah, good start at quarterback with the Broxer, putting up a 26, but then running backs bad. Pollard and Madison combined for 10. You get to wide receivers, DJ Moore 11, Quentin Johnson 13, Shaheed 7, which is bad. But at this point, he's still in pretty good shape and he's still winning. But then you get to the flexes and tight end 8. And this is where, Bobby trying some off the wall things. Baltimore has 2 running backs and the quarterback who runs a lot. It's a high powered rushing attack. So it pays to start 2 running backs. And he started 2 of the running backs. The only thing he started one that isn't one of the 2 that they use. So Justice only put up 1 point. Mitchell put up 14. Yeah, Baltimore's or Dallas' defense put up 16. And on the flip side, Josh Allen still put up a 16, even though he had a shitty game. Hunt 9 and Tien 6. Romero Douglas 14, Hopkins 6, Michael Thomas 2. Nothing until you get to tight end and flex, and then 32. Both the Bengal receivers, Chase and Boyd, 27-22, and then that's all you needed against Bobby this week.
Yeah,
like 80 points from 3 guys, and you only need a few more after that.
Good old fashioned butt kicking, and Bobby J falls to 4-6. We have a comment in the chat from somebody named Luis asking a question, but it took a couple of tries to get the question out. The question was, Johnny will make playoffs? Johnny will make playoffs? I don't think John's going to make the playoffs.
I have to see the rest of schedule.
I think John's definitely going to not make the playoffs. But I think that he's not mathematically eliminated right now. I think that
that's fair to say.
Right, and that's really all we're talking about. It's just that John is not mathematically eliminated yet, but I think he's going to be eliminated pretty soon. It's not. I don't know what his next week matchup is, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Anthony was victorious this week over Run. Every time I see Run, I just think of like eating the runs. You know what I mean? Like I think that he's going to get diarrhea in some way. Sizzler 160.82, diarrhea 117.18. CMC, couple of losses in a row now. I want to say 3 losses in a row for him, potentially. Something in that range. Definitely did not get it done this week. But at the same time, 160 points, that's a lot of points to score. So he's going to have to really come up with a big game in order to come out on top there. So on one hand, you can't really fault losing to a 160, but he only put up 117. That's not really going to get it done in most weeks. Not in this league. Anthony sitting at 6-4, sort of in control of your own destiny right now. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Made that my running backs have been my issue, and my receivers have carried me pretty much this whole year.
Yep.
So that recent
Preach, brother.
That recent trade, the pretty much was Devontae Adams for Kamara. Should really change that for me. The only downfall is going into the first week with him. He's on a bye.
That's a bummer.
And we'll talk about that coming up next week. So.
All right. Yeah. So with that, we've finished talking about all of our games. So we may as well take a look right now. We're coming to the stretch run of the season. Mm-hmm. And so I thought I would show, I'm going to see how this looks if I do this. Oh yeah, no, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So we have the stretch report. I'm going to show it for a second here. You guys can see this, right? I'm sorry, John, that I'm covering you up right now. Covering myself up also. But here we have the stretch report. This is where everybody stands with 4 games left in the regular season. Okay. In first place with an 8-2 record is Stillwater, 1588.98 points, right? They're first in points, and they got an A from Luis. Luis, real impressed with this team right here. Stillwater, head of the division. A from Luis, and they're the top scoring team in the league. The Gotham Rogues are the number 2 team in terms of record with a 7-3 record. They're at the top of their division. They're the number 2 seed if the playoffs were to start today with 1477.82. And that ranks them 3rd in scoring points scored. So the Rogues being in 2nd place with record, 3rd place scoring, overall very strong team. Got an A from Luis. So that, take that to the bank. 3rd place in the league is the Golden Showers. They have a 6-4 record, much like 2 other teams. However, they have 1,533 points, 1,533.92 points, making them the 2nd highest scoring team in the league, just 55 points off the lead. So Danny Mac has been putting up some big weeks. He's been winning some big games. 6-4. He's in 3rd place in the league, and he's 2nd in points. And he gets a B from Luis. So Danny, you got the B from Luis. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's good. You still got to strive for the A, but
yeah,
gives you something to work for while still, getting a little pat on the back there.
Right. He feels good about what you're doing, but he knows that you can do better. I think that's.
I didn't get one of his Fs.
No. God forbid. No. God forbid. Okay, let's bring this back up again. And now we go to the run team. Okay, the Diarrhea, as I mentioned, 6-4, 1,437.24 points. Okay, so they're in 4th place in the 4th seed, if you will, but they're the 5th highest scoring team. Also a B recipient from Luis. Luis's grades got a B. Solid. I think that's solid. B, solid. But again, could do better. Certainly could do better. At 6-4, the 3rd 6-4 team, but behind in points, 1363. So again, 1533, 1437, 1363. So Anthony has a pretty significant points deficit as it pertains to, or as it relates to the other 2 teams that are tied with him, making him 7th in the league in scoring right now, but sitting 5th in seeding, if you will. But however, got a C from Luis. Ooh, a C. Ouch. C. Anthony, what's your reaction to the C?
I think that C comes with salt. Sea salt.
Sea salt. I love that. Yes, I agree with you. I think that there is some salt that happens. There's some saltiness going on there. There's certainly been some back and forth in the chat, as we've seen, maybe a little too much back and forth for some people. I know that there's at least one manager who hasn't even opened the chat in like a month because they were just so sick of seeing the stuff go back and forth. So yeah, sea salt is a very good breakdown. In 6th place at 5-5, and this is where we have a bit of a logjam in our league. 1,441.7 points. The 4th highest scoring team. 6th place, the 4th highest scoring team. That's what she said. That's right. Wouldn't have noticed or wouldn't have thought about it that he's the 4th highest scoring team, but he's had some blow up weeks. He certainly had some blow up weeks. And for that,
holds the best record.
Earns
for highest scoring.
Highest scoring position of the 5-5 teams.
No, highest scoring
week
this year.
Oh, week. Okay. Very good. And for that, for all those, he received an A from Luis. Can you believe it? An A. He's in 6th place. He's the 4th highest scoring team. A.
I think what happened was he took some of my lettering.
So he got extra points that you didn't get. Yeah, he does seem to love Will. He certainly does. He loves him some Will. So get you a fantasy football friend who loves you the way that Luis loves Will.
That's and they do good. Yeah.
Yeah. For what that's worth. For everything that it's worth. Sweep the leg, coming in just outside the playoffs, just outside the playoff bubble. Sitting in 7th place, 5-5, logjam, 1,370.54 points, 6th highest scoring team. So they're putting up enough points to be playoff contention. Gets a B. It's a B from Luis. Now, to me, I think it's pretty clear that Luis has just been a little nice. He's being too nice to me, I think.
Yeah.
I think that, if you look at everybody else who's around me right now, and we'll talk about that in a moment, a B, that's friendly. That's a friendly B. It's a little B that I wouldn't want to squash. I would just kind of like swat it away. I'd be like, you know what? Please go away, B. Thank you.
Shoe B.
B, shoe. At 8, the Drunken Bums, 5-5. 1220.82, the 9th highest scoring team. And I don't know how much whoring they're doing, but the 9th highest scoring team getting a D, though. Ouch. A D from Luis. Luis dug into the numbers, saw that they're the 8th ranked team and 9th in scoring, and said, you know what? D from me. That's brutal. That's brutal. The 10th team, no, I'm sorry. Was it 7, 8, 9th team? 9th team is Team Blumpkin, also 5-5. So we have 6, 7, 8, and 9 all at 5-5. And the scoring is all over the board because the 9th team, Team Blumpkin, is 10th in scoring. He was last in scoring for a lot of the season and been slowly climbing up.
Oh, big week this week. Helps.
Yeah, 1208.98. Getting a D though. Ooh, ouch. A D. I hope Dahl doesn't see this. That would be rough. That would be rough and embarrassing. Yeah, seriously. Big burn for Dahl. But a bigger burn for Beer Muscles, who's in the 10th position, 4-6. Like I said, bad loss this week, putting him at 4-6, 10th in the league, 1246.16, 8th in scoring. So not putting up quite enough points and certainly not getting the wins in the column. F from Luis. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? That he would give Bobby an F? I never would have seen that coming in a million years. Danny, comment?
Yeah, it actually got me thinking, is there a way that Sleeper will let you change the settings for like tiebreakers to do like
Luis's grade?
Yeah, but not just that, like some kind of weighted system or like points count, Luis's grade counts, and like your record counts.
Yeah,
and then kind of like the AP, like the BCS, like the 12-team tourney college football type thing, like each poll and it's weighted.
Yes, I think that I mean, right, exactly. And Luis, it's similar to the way I have it laid out here. You know what I mean? You weight these columns and so on. And I mean,
and then you put it into the put it into the computer and it spits out the
and it gives us our actual champion, the true champion of the league. And turns out it's like, Drunken Bums.
Somebody not even in the league.
Right.
Some random guy who called in like week 4 or asked a question.
Sitting at number 11 at 2-8, it's PBJ, our boy, pretty boy Jonny. 1197.86. He's the 11th team in record and in scoring. And unfortunately, John, I'm sorry to report this, and I don't know if you knew this before, if I'm the first person to tell you this. You got an F from Luis.
What a shock!
Yeah, I for one am shocked.
As Bobby just said in the messages,
you and Bobby
are biased.
I mean, I'll say this is the draft was bad. Didn't make it's just a bad season. Straight up.
It's a bad season. That's all you need to say, John, and you're right. Bobby says that your grapes are biased. I think he's got sour grapes is what he's got. It's definitely some sour grapes here. Got a C for Sizzler. He got an F for Bobby J, an F for Johnny Boy, our sweet pretty boy Johnny, Dr. Student. And in 12th place, wouldn't you know it? We've been talking about him this whole time. That's Luis. He's in last place. We've been talking about him this whole time, and I just realized we just got to his name right now because he's
the end
1-9. Exactly, at the very bottom. 1-9. Okay. And he's got 1,126.8 points, which is last in the league. Lowest amount of points by 70 points less than Johnny. 70 points. So that's like 2 Tyreek Hill performances. And he didn't give himself a grade. He said pass. But what I think it was like supposed to be is like, as I presume it's like sort of a pass-fail situation. And I was supposed to choose. So I gave him an F also. I think it's, pretty straightforward.
You cannot give him an F.
Well, look, if you, again.
Can you give him a G?
If we're looking at the bell curve here. Okay.
He's an F.
There's a couple of variants from the general bell curve, but he'd have to be an F in this scenario. He'd be in the final standard deviation of all possible Fs. He'd be in the last,
He's a G,
the lowest possible group of Fs that there is before you get to the next letter is where he's at in the bell curve, if you looked at it statistically speaking. So it was easy to fill in the last answer right there. So that's the stretch report. We got everybody, caught up, and we have 4 games left in the regular season. That's very exciting.
Wow, it's crazy how fast it went, though.
Yeah. It definitely is. It's kind of a blur in a lot of ways, but it's been fun, and it's certainly far from over for most of us, right, John? It's a lot closer to being over for some people, if you know what I mean.
Not over yet. Not over yet.
No, it's not over yet, but I'm just saying, as far as like being close to the finish line, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
What do they say? 1 foot in the grave type situation. Okay. Key matchups. This week's game of the week is a thriller. The Gotham Rogues at 7-3 face off against Sizzler at 6-4. The Gotham Rogues have 1 more win than Sizzler. They have 114 more total points on the season than Sizzler. Sizzler mentioned earlier, he's got Kamara on a bye. Gotham is at full strength. The Gotham has a 1-game division lead, and the Sizzler is 2 back off the division pace in his division. Anthony, how you feeling about this matchup? Without breaking down, player versus player.
No,
generally, how do you look against his roster? How do you feel about your team against his team this week?
I feel okay. I would feel much better if I had Kamara.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
I'm glad I was able to pick up Ty Chandler to be able to kind of plug that in.
Yes, that's a good waiver wire pickup by you. Well, presumably, as long as he performs well.
Right, and hoping that with Stafford coming back, which is huge, that he plays this week all good, and Cup has a great day.
A usable day.
My receivers, come through for me.
Yeah. Well, it should be an interesting matchup. Gotham, no slouch. Certainly at this point in the season, safe to say that he is a championship contender.
By the way, we have a message from Luis Bello.
Oh, really? Interesting. It's very interesting. Let's see what it says. Oh, interesting.
Hill will get
David to the playoffs.
David
needs to talk about that.
Yeah. Hill is a player that Luis really likes a lot, and he might be helpful.
Finally traded him.
He might be helpful. Yeah, it's finally a little bit too little, too late, is what they say.
Right before the deadline is probably the best time.
Literally the hour before the deadline.
Yeah.
Too little, too late. Too little, too late. But good try. Good try. The what was I going to say here? Stillwater is at 8-2, and they're facing off against the Drunken Bums, who are at 5-5, and just kind of like reeling a little bit right now. They got a 2-game losing streak. Danny?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a good chance the losing streak comes to an end this week, but you probably could have said that last week, right?
Well,
and it didn't happen.
The Bums are on a 2-game losing streak.
The Bums. I thought it isn't Kurt. Oh, Stillwater's just on a 1 game. That's right. He lost one loss
last week. Yep.
Right. Trevor Williams not looking great. Javonte Williams and Josh Jacobs decent. But then you get to receivers: Pickens, Davis, Judy. 2 number 2s and bad passing offenses, and a number 2 and an okay passing offense. Nico Collins, though, good if he plays. Lane Thomas and Samuel. On the flip side, Dak Prescott, who's just heating it up lately. Montgomery and Hall. Montgomery seems to have lost the gig, but it's still quite possibly could go for a touchdown in the game. Hall, Jets don't have much else going on. And then receivers, Diggs, Nuka, Dell. the double tight end action with Mark Andrews and McBride, and then Isaiah Pacheco. Though it looks like Justin Jefferson's coming back this week, right?
Is that true? I don't think
I
that's
think.
true, dude.
No, I don't think so.
I don't
mean,
think
they
that's
haven't
true.
projected to score points, so I thought maybe the following week.
I don't. He might be like eligible, but I don't think I haven't heard anything to that effect.
No, I don't think.
Oh, so some injuries there, but I still think he's got enough to win this week. But we'll see. That's why they play the games.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anybody would have predicted Blumpkin to beat Stillwater this past week, so that's why it's an interesting.
Hopefully,
matchup.
he loses and doesn't score a whole lot of points.
Yeah, for your personal interest, for sure. The Golden Showers right on their, almost on their tail, 6-4, taking on the Runny Pants at 6-4. It's like that's what I'm thinking about. Jonny, the Golden Showers are making a run for that scoring title, and the Run guys are on that 3-game losing streak. Tell us about this matchup.
Yeah, this matchup actually is this is a game where Run Your Pants to the Bathroom theme.
Love
it. Well, you got a matchup. Well, I'll tell you what. Danny Mac's got a really, really a shitty matchup with Burrow at Baltimore. So I know Danny Mac's not too thrilled about that. And Tua has a juicy matchup against Vegas. I think this is a wake-up call of Vegas is not that good.
Yes,
you're going to see an absolute, massacre down in Miami. At running back, I would say that both of these teams are evenly matched, especially with Run getting James Conner back this coming week. And with obviously CMC there. And let's see if Aaron Jones could do something. My goodness. I had him in the beginning of the year. I traded him to Anthony. Anthony got tired of Aaron Jones. So here we go. And obviously we know that Danny Mac loves him, some Raheem Mostert and some Kenneth Walker. So pretty evenly matched there. I think what really is going to push this out, though, is wide receiver. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb has been one of the better wide receivers in fantasy football over the last 5 weeks or so. Christian Kirk is somehow the number one receiver in Jacksonville. Amari Cooper will be Amari Cooper. But I think that between that and also you get Kelsey back as well this week. So I think that's a big advantage. So I think Danny continues with his winning ways, but the Run definitely needs a win because the team is absolutely spiraling.
Yeah, 3 games in a row could easily be 4.
They just made a move.
They made a trade, but again, show it to me on the field, baby. Show it to me on the field. Anthony, sweep the leg, 5-5. Blumpkin, 5-5. These two are on the playoff bubble, and they're battling. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, you got these both guys, like you just said, they're a must win for them this week. And you got the Blumpkin just coming off arguably their best game of the year.
It's a must need. That's what we call it.
Is that what we call it?
We call it a must need.
A must need win here. Blumpkin coming off, like I said, might have been their highest scoring game of the year, but best game of the year, beating the number one person in our league here, the Stillwater.
Right.
And we got a great quarterback matchup with Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson here. So I don't even know who is going to win that one. And you got the Eckler and Brian Robinson.
My running back situation has been the bane of my existence, much like yours.
I know that, right, for sure.
And this week, Bijan is on a bye.
Well, Bijan's on a bye.
And Williams is still out one more week on the IR.
Right.
It's
but you got
brutal.
Najee Harris and Jalen Warren have both been getting work on the team. It's just unfortunately going against Cleveland this week. But then when you go to the receivers, you got Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Mike Evans.
And Deontay Johnson. Don't forget about Deontay. Put some spec on his name.
I'll put some spec on his targets. But you have going against Tyler Lockett, Noah Brown, who had an insane game, but
two,
but
he's good.
But he's good. But Nico Collins coming back, You got Zay Flowers. That passing offense has been a little rough. And you got Ingram against Schultz here. Schultz has been getting some work over in Houston because CJ Stroud's
Schultz is good.
amazing.
Schultz is good. He's a good play. I like Schultz.
And then going into these flex
That's not-
here, Guyton.
I have Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I didn't say I'm just saying that.
I just got confused because I was like, wait a minute. He's a guy I just got. I was like,
all these trades
Go
have
ahead,
got
go ahead.
me confused. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, who's been on
He's good.
fire these past few weeks, and then we thought would it be a step back with Montgomery coming back this past week, and it was not.
no, he's good.
He's
Very good.
He's very good. This should be
It'd be a tough game.
tough game. The receivers you have by a landslide.
Yeah.
And then the
I'm gonna have
running
an
backs
advantage at receiver in most matchups, but
and in the
my
running
running
backs,
backs,
he
it's
has
terrible.
you on a landslide.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, should be good.
Yeah.
I wonder if Bobby J is still watching. There's one person I think watching at least. Bobby J, if you're watching, throw a hello in the chat or say that you're still there.
No, it's Luis.
Oh, it is Luis still?
He's just said, if I can make a bet, Golden Showers or Will wins it all.
It is Luis. If I could make a bet, Golden Showers or Will. Okay, interesting. Well, you know what? Again, that Will love shining right through. He's looking at the.
Boy,
he's
he
looking at-
loves him some Will, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he's looking at the numbers and he sees that the Golden Showers are the second highest scoring team, and he just his love affair with Will, it can't be denied. So he's got to. I mean, I can see that. And if that's the finals matchup, I'll give Luis credit for calling it. I'll say, yeah, he was right. It's these two teams. Good for him. But
If he puts money on it, he will definitely lose.
well, I'll say this. I don't know if he would definitely lose, but if he's willing to put money on it, I'm sure somebody would.
He's
take
gonna
that.
jinx Danny. You better not if he puts money down, he's gonna jinx you, dude.
No,
Bobby J in the house.
Somebody would take that action. Is all I'm saying. Luis, if you want to put that beer muscles in the house, okay. Listen to this. Beer muscles 4-6, coming off a brutal loss, bad loss. Couldn't fall to 4-6, fell to 4-6 against PBJ. Needed a win, got a win. 2-8. Every game is an elimination game for Pretty Boy Jonny. Does this team have what it takes to go on a spoiler run? Let's take a look and see.
Yeah, I was just going to say, pull the.
Both teams are projected to be right around each other, which is just over 100 points. CJ Stroud versus Justin Fields. Oh my goodness, Justin Fields back in action, and Bobby J finally gets to enact his plan of doing the Justin Fields DJ Moore stack. He traded me to get Justin Fields earlier in the season, and he's finally able to deploy the Justin Fields DJ Moore, which it could stack attack. It could be a huge blow up game for them, or it could just be not particularly great. However, CJ Stroud, most of the time is great. Arizona is not a particularly imposing matchup. So I'm going to give CJ Stroud the nod until he proves otherwise, because it's CJ.
Who do the Bears play?
The Bears play Detroit. So I'm taking Stroud in that matchup. Antonio Gibson, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, Keaton Mitchell. Okay. So we got, right now, Alexander Madison is in the flex for Bobby J. I don't expect Alexander Madison to play this week.
No.
Higgins is already out on his bench. Goddard out. Shaheed bye. Pierce questionable, probably not going to play, or if he does, he'll be extremely limited. Bobby J, you better make a move, pal, because Madison is probably not going to play. You're going to need to fill that spot. You got Mingo at receiver. Yeah, make something happen. McLaurin, Calvin Ridley, Cortland Sutton versus DJ Moore, Quentin Johnson, Jonathan Mingo. Bobby, make something happen, buddy. Cole Kmet versus Tyler Hudson. Bobby, what are you doing, Bobby? Dubs and Christian Watson. He's another one who's playing both of them. Didn't you tell me you were playing against a guy who's playing Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs? Bobby's doing the same thing. That's crazy. Michael Gallup and Alexander Madison on the other side. No, not Bobby. Johnny's doing the same thing. Jesus Christ. You guys are all over the place.
Bobby J said he's got waivers.
Yeah, you got waivers out. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I hope you get your guy, and he's not a guy that I want.
I know who it is.
I know it's got to be only one guy.
I have a guess.
Who's your guess?
Mike Wilson.
Michael Wilson. Yep, that's who it is. because he just got dropped by somebody.
With Stillwater.
You better pay up, Bobby. Better pay up big because I'm going after him too, and I got money to burn, baby. $16. And I'll fucking spend it all too. I will. I'll do it. Don't push me. Yeah, this is going to be a crazy game to watch. I think Jonny could win this one. I straight up think Jonny can win this game.
I agree.
John, I think you can win this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel good about this coming week.
Nice. Yeah,
really
you mentioned it before, and now I see what you were talking about, and I agree with you. I think that you should feel confident. You should go in with your head held high. You're not the only person in the world starting. Anthony's playing against a Dobbs Watson owner right now, so you're not the only person doing that. Bobby J has $15. I have $16. I can get Michael Wilson, and he can't.
So could I.
Oh, Bobby.
So
you
could
better make
I.
another. You better make another move, pal, because I'm getting him.
Or I could get him.
You're gonna get him, Anthony?
Possible.
I might get him.
Son of a bitch. Don't do that to me. You can do it to me if you want to.
That's what she said.
Ha! Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
wait. So real quick,
go ahead.
just because of all this talk about Jonny and
Bobby
being
J.
out. No, and being like, one game away each week.
He's on the edge.
His next 3 opponents.
Go ahead. Love it.
In this order.
Go ahead.
That's what she said.
Well,
Which is to me the
no, it's Bobby J first.
Well, because we just talked about this game after
okay,
Bobby J.
so that's a win.
That's what she said, which is the toughest of the 3.
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. Go ahead.
Run shit your pants
Okay.
and drunken bums.
I don't think that they're any of them are walkovers.
I think the easiest out of the 3 is the bums right now.
And the toughest out of the 3 is that's what she said.
Right.
I
Or
finished
4.
against Bobby and
not
Lou,
crazy over,
and I'm
not
not
crazy
upset.
far over.
Say that again, Danny.
I finished against Bobby and Lou the last 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Well, good for you. Good for
I'm
Fuck
quite
off.
happy about it. Yeah.
Good for fucking you, buddy. Nice job. Congratulations.
We weren't talking about you.
That's what she
I know.
said.
I just wanted to point that out.
Plays. That's what she said at 5-5. Plays against the Chump at 1-9. Is this a new and improved Chump team? And do they have a shot? Do they have a shot here?
Well,
I'm gonna say they
Probably
have
not.
more of a shot than they would have, but I still think they lose. They have more of a shot than they
well,
would
yeah,
have.
because they have more depth now.
Well, that's what we just talked about. That's what she said. They're not a bad team. They score points.
No, for sure. They're no
the
slouch.
They're the fourth highest scoring team in the league.
Yeah,
Like,
they're no slouch.
they're no joke. So
Yeah, this Miles Sanders thing's got to go.
and plus it's the will. It's the will. Like Luis is even rooting for Will to win this game. He's not even rooting for himself to win.
If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, in this case, if there's a will, there's a win.
Yeah, like this. His biggest thing right now, looking at it, is you got Miles Sanders and Gainwell situation.
True.
That's not going to help you out.
True. So that wraps up all of our games. We still have plenty to break down and plenty to talk about. I am going to hit the outro. I'm going to hit the music, and then we're going to hit the other
Well,
music.
hold on. We just got a question.
Oh, we did.
That's not our people in our league.
Okay, Wizzy Jefferson. What's up, Wizzy? Go ahead, Anthony. Read us the question.
My roster: Stroud, Adams, Olave, Johnson, C-Mac, Achan, Hawkinson, Flowers. Bench: Fields, Hopkins, Davis, Warren, Madison. I want to trade one of my wide receivers and a bench piece for RB. Any recommendation? Is this a 10 or a 12 man? Wizzy, because your team looks pretty good. I would try and
Adams, Olave,
Johnson.
He wants to trade one of your wide receivers and a bench piece for an RB. Yeah, I recommend trading Adams
Right. I would try and move Adams.
right now.
10 man. Yeah.
Okay,
That's
makes
what
sense.
I figured is so I would try and move Adams immediately, like before this
Who's
weekend
Johnson?
if you can. Deontay?
Deontay Johnson. Okay.
Is it Deontay Johnson, Wizzy? And yeah, if I were you, I would try and move Adams before this weekend starts. just because he came off of a week with a bunch of targets, and I just don't think it's going to continue.
Oh, he's still
as
going to get
big.
targets. They're just going to be bad targets.
Right.
Adams, I don't love Zay Flowers. You could get rid of him. You could put Adams together and maybe.
Yes, it's Deontay. Well, say if I trade Adams and Madison, who would you guys target?
Well, the bench is Fields, Hopkins, Davis, Warren, Madison. I would say keep Jalen Warren for sure.
Yes.
Davis? Who's Davis?
Get Gabe?
Demario Davis, maybe? Or
No,
Gabe?
that's Demario Douglas. Gabe Davis can go.
Yeah, get him.
Adams can go. Flowers can go. Gabe Davis can go. Madison can go.
Yeah, I like
Well, yeah,
I
but
like
you
a
gotta-
sneaky Hopkins.
You gotta get something back too.
I trade Fields too.
Yeah, it is
I
Gabe.
know. I know.
So who would you target right now? I love me Kamara, but that's hard get.
Say I trade. Wait, hold on a second.
Say
Say I
you-
trade Achan and Madison.
No,
Don't do
Adams.
Oh, Adam, not Achan. Sorry, I
You
I
have
to click it
Achan.
and I can't read it once I click it.
And I was hearing some crazy stats today about Achan, but you have Achan, which is a solid
keep
start. So if you can get
Adams and Madison.
if you can get Adams and Madison and maybe if you could look at the person who has Kamara. Honestly, I've been doing that in every league I have. Just see what they're at. If their RB strength is heavy, is they have some depth, and their wide receivers generally wouldn't be as. I would try and see if you could move Devontae Adams and Madison, and I would even give something else if you could, if you had to.
Yeah,
because Madison's going to miss
any
1 week.
other one of those receivers that I just
So,
listed into the deal to make it happen. So if you
Okay, so who would you want rest of season? Flowers or Gabe Davis?
If it's a PPR league,
Flowers.
probably Flowers. Yeah.
So
But-
offer Devontae Adams, Alexander Madison, and Gabe Davis for Kamara. No?
I don't know. I mean, you never know who's going to be available. Like, Kamara might be the guy's only running back, so you can't just say offer for Kamara.
Well, I'm
I think
saying
that you have
look
to-
at the guy that has Kamara.
Yeah, I
check
think
out
you
his
have
team.
to look and see who has available running backs. But a Kamara like target, if you can get value for Adams,
Right.
and then if you can get value from Madison, you might need to throw that extra receiver in there, which I would be completely comfortable doing.
Not a side note, maybe look at your Carry-On Williams where you can maybe get him right now.
Kyron Williams,
Sorry,
he'll be coming
Kyron.
back. If maybe somebody is getting itchy trigger finger and they want to get rid of him. Guy with Kamara has Pollard and Harris. He's stacked. You got the stacked wide receivers. Yeah, Pollard and Harris. He's not
Isn't gonna
he's
get
not
rid
giving
of-
rid of Kamara.
So like Williams maybe because he's out 1 week and Warren can kind of get you through 1 week.
Warren can get you through multiple weeks. He's a playable option every week, I think.
Right, but you would Williams. You would he's asking people to target.
Williams? Javonte Williams?
Kyron Williams.
Oh, Kyron Williams. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I wouldn't be like, I own Kyron Williams in our league, and I'm like really excited for him to come back. But I don't know if I'd also be rushing out to trade for him without really knowing what is going to be the division of labor once he does actually come back. Like, is it if I knew that he was going to be 100% of the carries like he was before he got hurt, then I'd be like, yeah, I'm fucking pumped. Let's do this. Go get Kyron Williams everywhere.
Right.
But I
Same thing
don't
with
know
Achan
that that's going
coming
to be the
back.
case.
They might even shut him down for the year because of the record that they have.
I don't know. I don't know if they would do that. He's not that kind of a player where you shut him down.
Yeah, because then
He's
we'd shut down Cup.
He's not like a generational talent, right? They'd have to shut everybody down. If they shut Kyron Williams down, they're shutting everybody.
So name some people you would want to target, rest of season that you can kind of work Adams in.
Saquon Barkley.
Do you want him though? Do you think he's going to produce?
He's going to get a
week?
ton of work. What about
Somebody might be fed up with Barkley.
Bijan Robinson? They'll be tired.
Well, coming off of a touchdown week, they'll probably want to.
Well, but he still didn't have 20 points. Even with the touchdown, he didn't have 20 points. He didn't have 100 yards.
Oh, Jameer
what I mean?
Gibbs.
Well, yeah,
you're not getting
from
Gibbs right
anybody.
now.
I just think you got to target like solid RB2s in that scenario.
Also, just looking for somebody in your league who could use a receiver because that adds value to what you're giving. especially if you have the depth and
Well,
you're
yeah, I
willing
mean,
to
I
be
think
able to two or three for one.
makes sense to say that. Yeah, you have to obviously look for somebody who's thin at receiver, who's got a few running backs that they can play with. And then what you want to do is look at an RB, a guy who you could look at and say, yeah, I can start this guy as my RB2 every week, but he also has RB1 upside.
Right. Check the strength of schedule.
And don't be afraid to put Devontae Adams and Alexander Madison and a third option together if you want to get somebody that's like really good.
Especially in a 10-man league.
Yeah, a 10-man league.
You got to stack it up.
For sure.
And Wizzy, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe.
If you haven't already. Appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Hey guys, let's talk about let's actually hit the next music. We're gonna start the next show, so stay tuned for the next show. I'm just gonna hit the music real quick, and then we're gonna talk about some NFL stuff. We're gonna talk about some players. We're gonna talk about some teams.